120 VC presents Profiles and Getting Shit Done. GSD. Hey, my name's Jay Scott. I'm the founder and CEO of 120 VC. This is a first in our series showcasing stories from transformative leaders that get shit done. We begin with 120 VC practice lead and overall badass, Jim Adams.
Hi, I'm Jim Adams. I'm a senior practice lead with 120 VC, and I live in a little city called Lomita in the big county of Los Angeles. I've been with 120 VC for over 10 years. I help our project managers and senior project managers deliver for our clients. I joined 120 VC because I was actually a client first, and Jake Roig was a project manager on a project I was working on. And it was about a $2 million project. It was about 6 months long. It was a proof of concept, and it was on budget, on time, and exceeded all the business objectives and metrics. And so I thought, these guys, they seem like they know what they're doing. And when it came time a few years later to make a transition in my own career path, 120 was a real logical choice to reach out and see if I get a job with these guys. I call myself a project leader, and I think the difference between leader and manager, and you need to do this either as a leader, but a manager is more of a check the box, coordinator type role, and pushing people to get things done. I think a leader is more collaborative. You're working with the stakeholders across, typically across organizations within a company, and often across companies, right? You may have other vendors that are involved as well. And I think a leader's job is to pull all of the right resources together, make sure you're working in a collaborative fashion to deliver the outcome for the end client. I like to get shit done, and I get a great satisfaction in working with companies, helping them transform their business and deliver for them. It's typically IT projects that I'm working on, which is enabling technology, which either is helping them gain market share or improve their internal processes to reduce overhead costs, that sort of thing. And I enjoy helping companies do better. Companies like DIRECTV, First American Title, with Amgen, which is a biotech company, worked with Sony Pictures, that is. We worked with a translation company called SDI, currently working with a mortgage company, AAG, and with a fintech company called Remitly. I think the magic of being able to get shit done across different industries really comes from the ability to connect with people, understand what their business objectives are, and then again, work with the stakeholders and the teams to get the right people on the team, focus on the key objectives and deliver for them. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. We really need to, what I found most successful is meeting the client where they are with whatever methodology or standards they're following. And we've worked with clients who were DevOps and very, very effective at it. We've worked with other clients that I would call more fragile, where they're trying to move to Agile, but hadn't quite gotten it down, but we were still able to deliver on time. Other projects that are very classic enterprise, where you get all or as much planning as you can possibly do up front and then muster the team to execute. And I think the secret sauce across it all is just that we meet the client where they are. We bring our best practices to bear, and our best practices are very agile, little a agile. They fit across all of those different frameworks. And it really, because it comes down to leadership and communication and identifying what the definition of done is, what the definition of success looks like. And especially with IT projects where you're delivering software, it's easy to stand back and say, hey, we won, right? Success, we deployed the software. But success is really measured by user adoption. And that is really pretty similar across industries, regardless of the industry you're working in. If you're deploying a system, you've got to get the users to use it and adopt it. And that's really how we measure success. Probably the most recent, and I think we've been incredibly successful, is with our client AAG. The VP of the PMO literally found our guidebook on Amazon and bought it and shared it with her team. She then reached out to us as a company sometime later, I think a year or so later, and engaged us to do our transformational leadership program training with her team and other stakeholders. And that led to engaging us to come in and act in a PM role in a very large project they had. It was the highest priority, highest profile project in the company. And so I came in as the practice lead to basically lay the groundwork, get to know the environment, get to know the people, kick off the project. And then we brought Wynn, one of our senior project managers, in, and she backfilled for me. I handed the project off, and she picked up and ran with it. And with that kind of relationship, where I built a relationship with the PMO, with the stakeholders, when it came time and Wynn wanted something as simple as a vacation, right? She wanted to take a week off and go spend time with family, I was able to step in and act as a project manager in the environment, had the relationships with the team, had the knowledge of the project because I do weekly quality assurance project reviews with Wynn. So I'm up to speed on exactly where the project plan is, where all the documentation is, how it's been structured, where it's located, all the practices and processes for communication within the client. And was able to seamlessly backfill for her on vacation. And in projects, things come up, right? That's why we're project managers. We do risk mitigation and do risk assessments. And there was an issue that came up just as she left on vacation. And because I had the knowledge of the project, of the team, of the environment, was able to manage that risk, mitigate that risk. And she came back to a clean project that was still healthy and green.
Subscribe to see other profiles in GSD. And if your team is in need of leadership or tools to get shit done, go to 120vc.com and check out our talks, workshops, and courses designed for anyone that leads a team.